When President Trump first confirmed the $2,000 relief program, many assumed it would mirror previous stimulus checks, automatic, instant, and universal. But this new plan isn't a one-size-fits-all payout. Eligibility depends on more than just receiving Social Security or retirement benefits. It hinges on total income across all sources, from pensions and investments to part-time earnings. That's where confusion begins.
Backhand index pointing right. If this information helped you, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always one step ahead. We break down important updates like this clearly so you're never caught off guard. Join our community, stay informed, and take control of your financial future, starting today. Flexed Biceps Calendar.
Millions who expected deposits on day one may be surprised to learn that the first wave, set for November 9th, only reaches those meeting specific criteria with up-to-date information on file. The government's method, distributing in stages and through various payment forms like direct deposits, paper checks, and debit cards, reflects a careful rollout, not a blanket giveaway. And amid all this, scammers are exploiting misinformation, posing as officials to steal personal details from anxious recipients. The truth is, these relief payments are entirely real, but patience and precision are key. Understanding your eligibility, verifying through official IRS or Social Security portals, and ensuring your details are current can make all the difference between getting paid early or being left waiting. This process isn't about luck. It's about knowing the system, staying alert to fraud, and following the proper channels to secure what's rightfully yours. The first deposits may begin November 9th, but for millions, preparedness will determine how soon the relief arrives. Donald Trump's $2,000 relief payment plan is officially underway, with the first wave of payments beginning to hit bank accounts starting November 9th. But before you start refreshing your account balance or making plans to spend, there's one thing you absolutely need to know. This relief payment is real, but it's not for everyone. This isn't a blanket handout, and it's definitely not automatic, even for people on Social Security. If you want to receive it, you need to meet very specific criteria, and you need to follow the correct process because missing a detail could mean missing out. Let's get one thing straight right away. Just being on Social Security doesn't automatically qualify you. That's the mistake a lot of people are making. Eligibility is based on more than just your Social Security check. It's about your total adjusted gross income from all sources. That means everything. Pensions, investments, rental income, annuities, even part-time job wages. If you've got more than one stream of income, you need to be extra careful here. The government's not just looking at your monthly benefit, they're counting everything. There are strict income thresholds tied to this program. If you're an individual or couple living under those lines, and if you're receiving certain benefits, you may qualify. But the key word here is may. Because unlike previous stimulus programs, this one isn't universal. It's targeted. It's built for a very specific segment of the population, and qualifying means checking every box, not just one. And don't expect this to be a one-day windfall either. Even though November 9th is the official launch date, that doesn't mean you or anyone you know will be getting paid that day. Payments are going out in waves. Some people will see direct deposits right away. Others, they might be waiting weeks, even months. It all depends on the method of distribution and whether the government has your current banking information. If the IRS or Social Security has your correct bank account info, you're likely to get your deposit sooner. If not, you could be waiting for a paper check or a debit card in the mail. And yes, that's going to take longer. So if you've moved recently, changed banks, or had any other significant change in your financial setup, now is the time to act. Update your information through the official IRS or Social Security portals. Don't wait for a delay to become a disaster. Speaking of disasters, let's talk about scams. Because you already know they're coming. They always do. If someone contacts you by email, phone, or text saying they need your Social Security number, bank info, or any kind of processing fee to get your payment, run. That's not the government, that's a scammer. The government will not call you or email you out of the blue. They will not ask for personal information. They will not charge you to receive this relief. If you get a suspicious message, don't respond, report it. Always go straight to the official IRS or Social Security websites to check your eligibility or status. Never trust a third-party site with your information. And here's another critical point. If your situation has changed, your eligibility might change too. Marriage, divorce, moving to a different state, earning more or less income than last year. All of these things can affect your eligibility and delay your payment. Don't assume that the system will catch up to you. Be proactive. Keep your records updated and monitor your accounts regularly. You don't want to end up weeks down the line wondering why nothing has arrived. If your payment doesn't come on time, don't panic, but do act. The IRS has systems in place to initiate payment traces. If you think your check was sent to the wrong place or your account was closed, they can track it and help reissue the payment. But that process takes time, and again, you'll need to go through official channels to start it. Don't rely on rumors, forums, or social media posts. Stick with the IRS and Social Security portals, the only trusted sources for real-time information. And let's not forget one last thing: tax implications. Thankfully, these relief payments are not taxable. You won't need to report them as income on your federal return. But that doesn't mean you're off the hook entirely. If your payment affects your adjusted gross income, or you later qualify for other income-based benefits, it could play a role. So keep records, save documentation, talk to a tax professional if you have questions. The worst thing you can do is assume and get blindsided later. This whole process, qualifying, updating information, receiving payment, it's a process, not a one-time event. November 9th is just the start. Millions of payments, each with different circumstances, will take time to process. So if your friend gets theirs before you, it doesn't necessarily mean you were skipped. Could just mean their info was already on file and current. Stay calm, stay focused, and most importantly, stay informed. And please, don't fall for the trap of thinking your Social Security check alone guarantees you a spot. That's one of the most common misconceptions out there right now. Your total adjusted gross income is what counts. Even a small pension or some dividend income could push you above the limit. Check your latest tax return. Everything up. Be honest with yourself. Because if you assume you qualify without checking, you might be left waiting for a payment that was never coming. This is why it's so important to use the IRS and Social Security websites. They both have online tools to help you verify whether you qualify. They'll also show you your payment status. If you're not sure whether you've received a deposit or where your check is, don't guess. Go to the source. It's the fastest, safest way to get accurate answers. Also, don't share your personal information with third-party websites. Some sites might look legitimate, but unless they end in .gov and are listed on the IRS or SSA's official directory, they could be phishing for your data. That's not paranoia. It's just reality. Identity theft is a growing threat, and programs like this are magnets for fraudsters. If you're someone who qualifies but hasn't received the payment yet, don't give up. The system is moving, but it's not instantaneous. And with the sheer volume of payments being processed, delays are inevitable. What matters most is that your information is current, you meet the eligibility criteria, and you monitor the right resources. Let's recap. Relief payments have started going out as of November 9th. They are real. They are targeted, not universal. You need to meet very specific eligibility criteria based on total income, not just Social Security. Payments will be sent out in waves via direct deposit, paper check, or debit card. Scammers are already circling, so only trust official communications. Update your personal information with the IRS and Social Security if anything has changed. Use official portals only to check your eligibility or payment status. And most of all, be patient. This process is real, but it's not magic. Takes time. If you've got questions, go directly to the irs.gov or ssa.gov websites. If something looks wrong, report it. If you haven't seen your deposit, file a trace. And if your information is outdated, update it now. Don't wait until your payment is lost or delayed. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit the like button so others can see it too. Share it with friends or family who might be confused or waiting for answers. Drop a comment if you've got questions or want to share your experience. And make sure you're subscribed. We'll keep covering every update as it happens so you don't miss a thing. There's still a lot to unpack. If you're like millions of Americans right now, you're asking, why is this so complicated? Why not just send the money like they did before? Fair question. But this isn't like those earlier COVID-era relief programs. This $2,000 payment plan under Trump's administration is more selective, more calculated, and, frankly, more bureaucratic. And that's exactly why people are confused. See, under the previous stimulus plans, most people who filed taxes or received Social Security saw the money land in their accounts with little effort. But this time, not so simple. The government is combing through data. They're calculating total adjusted gross income from every source. Not just your Social Security benefits, but your entire financial footprint. That includes your pension, your IRA withdrawals, your rental income, your part-time job, even dividends from stocks. It doesn't matter if you only receive a few $100 in extra income a month. It counts. And if that total income puts you over the eligibility threshold, you're out. That's it. No appeals. No flexibility. It's black and white. So if you're scratching your head wondering why your neighbor got their deposit and you didn't, it might come down to income. Or it might come down to filing status. Single filers, married couples, heads of household. They all have different income limits. And yes, that makes it even more confusing. But it's how the program was structured. And here's another issue that's tripping people up. Banking information. If you had direct deposit set up for previous stimulus payments or for your tax refund, great. You're probably in good shape. But if you've closed that account, switched banks, or never provided that info to begin with, the government won't be able to deposit anything. Instead, you'll be sent a check or a debit card in the mail. And guess what? That takes longer. A lot longer. We're talking weeks of delays just to print and mail paper checks. And if the address they have is old, incorrect, or missing a small detail, that check might get sent back. That's why updating your personal information is absolutely critical right now. Do it through the official IRS and Social Security websites. Don't wait until it's too late. And if you think you can just call someone and speed it up, be ready for long wait times. Millions of people are calling the same phone lines. So unless it's urgent or you're following up on a payment trace, your best bet is still online. Now let's talk about something a lot of people are afraid to say out loud. What if you don't qualify but you thought you did? It's frustrating. You're on a fixed income. You're paying more for food, gas, rent. Everything is going up. And now you find out you're just barely over the income threshold. And that $2,000 relief payment isn't coming. Feels like a slap in the face. Especially when you see others receiving it with ease. But here's the truth. This program wasn't designed to help everyone. It was built to support those under very specific financial conditions. So if you're on the edge, if you're close to qualifying but miss it by a few dollars, that's the line the government drew. And sadly, they're not budging. Still, even if you don't qualify now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't stay informed. Because eligibility can shift. If your income drops next year, or if a new round of payments is announced with different criteria, you might suddenly become eligible. That's why it's important to keep checking. Stay in the loop. Keep your records clean, your address current, your bank account information updated. The more prepared you are, the less likely you'll be blindsided when changes happen. Now let's circle back to scams, because they're not just a side issue. They are everywhere. Scammers are already sending fake texts, spoofing government numbers, sending official-looking emails, and setting up fraudulent websites. They'll say things like, "You need to confirm your payment info," or "We just need a small fee to release your $2,000 check." It all sounds real. But it's not. The government does not charge fees for relief payments. They do not ask for personal information over text or email. They will never ask you to send a prepaid card, wire money, or provide your Social Security number out of the blue. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS or Social Security and asks for sensitive info, hang up. Delete the message. Report it. And if you've already given information to someone suspicious, act immediately. Contact your bank. Freeze your credit if necessary. Report the incident to the Federal Trade Commission or the IRS's fraud unit. The faster you respond, the more you can minimize the damage. Now there's one more thing we need to cover. Delays. Just because the first payments went out on November 9th doesn't mean everyone will get theirs quickly. Some people might see deposits within a few days. Others could wait weeks. If your information is incomplete, out of date, or flagged for review, it could take even longer. If you expected a payment and didn't get one, log into your IRS account. See if a deposit was scheduled or if there's a problem. If nothing shows up after a reasonable amount of time, you can request a payment trace. That process isn't instant, but it's your best option for recovering a lost or delayed check. And again, don't panic. Don't rush into websites or services promising faster payments. They can't do anything the government can't. And most of the time they're not real. You also don't need to worry about the tax impact. These $2,000 payments are not taxable. You don't need to claim them as income on your next federal tax return. But it's still wise to keep track of your payment. Print a copy of the deposit confirmation. Save the letter you receive. Keep your records. Because even if the IRS doesn't tax it, other programs or income-based benefits might consider it in some form when calculating eligibility. That's why documentation matters. It's not just about getting the money. It's about keeping your financial house in order. One missing record could make next year's tax season a nightmare. Stay ahead of it. Now, if you're still unsure about your status, stop guessing. Go straight to the source. The IRS website has a tool to check your eligibility and payment status. The Social Security Administration can verify your benefits and help you update your information. Use only official government websites. Anything else is a risk you don't need to take. So let's wrap this up with what matters most. The $2,000 relief payment program is real. It launched November 9th. But it is not automatic. It is not universal. You have to qualify based on specific income and benefit criteria. You have to make sure your personal information is up to date. You have to be alert for scams. And you have to be patient because this isn't going to be a fast process for everyone. Check your income. Add up everything. Don't overlook those small deposits or extra income streams. If you're not sure whether you qualify, go to the IRS or SSA website and check. If your payment is delayed or if you haven't received anything, follow the official channels. Do not pay fees. Do not give away your personal information. And do not rely on third-party sites claiming to speed things up. They can't. Only the government can issue these payments. And look, this process is frustrating. Slow. It's complicated. But with the right information, the right preparation, and a little patience, you can make sure you don't miss out on what's rightfully yours. And if you're still with us, it means you understand just how important this is. Because what's happening right now, this $2,000 relief payment rollout, isn't just a government handout. It's a test. Test of how prepared you are. A test of whether you're watching the fine print. Because let's be honest, there's no second chance here. This is a one-shot program, and if you miss it, if you assume you qualify or don't bother checking the details, you could be left behind while others around you get the help they need. That's why we keep repeating it. Check your eligibility. Don't guess. Don't rely on second-hand information from a neighbor, a Facebook post, or some random article online. This is about you, your income, and your unique situation. Let's talk about some real mistakes people are already making. One of the biggest. Assuming that because they qualified before, they qualify now. But this isn't 2020. It's not 2021. The rules have changed. This time around, the government is using stricter criteria, looking at your entire adjusted gross income, not just what's on your Social Security check or tax return summary. So if you've had any changes to your financial life, started collecting a pension, took on some part-time work, received inheritance income, sold property, it all counts. And it all gets added to your income total. Even a modest increase can push you over the limit and disqualify you completely. Here's another costly mistake. Failing to update your address or bank account information. You'd be shocked how many payments are bouncing back or getting sent to the wrong place just because someone forgot to notify the IRS or Social Security of a change. If you moved in the last year and didn't update your records, there's a good chance your check is sitting in the wrong mailbox. Or worse, getting returned as undeliverable. And no, the government doesn't resend those automatically. You need to follow up. You need to initiate the trace. You need to prove that the payment never arrived. So please do yourself a favor. Double-check your records now before it's too late. Now let's talk about people who are eligible but aren't seeing the money. Yes, it's happening. And in most cases it comes down to incomplete banking info, identity verification issues, or errors in their file. Maybe your name doesn't match your social security records. Maybe your tax return flagged a mismatch. Maybe you didn't file at all because your income was too low. And now the IRS doesn't have enough data to confirm you. These are real problems with real consequences. But they're also fixable if you act. This is why we keep stressing the importance of going through the right channels. The IRS and Social Security portals allow you to check status, confirm eligibility, and in many cases, update key information. If you're sitting around waiting for something to show up without confirming your status, you could be waiting for a long time. Don't assume. Don't gamble. Be proactive. And don't forget, these payments aren't being sent all at once. Even if you do everything right, your payment could still take time. First come, first processed. That's how it works. And if you're receiving a check or debit card by mail, you're at the mercy of shipping delays, processing backlogs, and good old-fashioned government red tape. So yes, this takes patience. But that patience is only worth something if you're following the correct steps. Look, we know this is exhausting. Feels like you're jumping through hoops just to get help you deserve. But this is the system we have. And navigating it the right way can mean the difference between receiving $2,000 or receiving nothing at all. So once more, check your income. Confirm your filing status. Update your contact and banking details. Use only the official IRS and Social Security websites. Watch out for scams. Save every document. Stay organized. Stay alert. And if you've done everything right, be patient. The money is coming. You just need to make sure it can find you. If this helped you stay informed, please hit the like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment if you've got questions or concerns. We're here to keep the conversation going. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another update. We'll be tracking this story as it unfolds, step by step, wave by wave. Stay sharp, stay ready, and make sure you get what you're owed.